Hello Internet, this is Sophia. Welcome to part 2 of my response to Javier Javier's video about why atheists should stop it with I'll talk about such thing as objective morality. Pardon the background noise, it's just that there's been for a while construction in the apartment next to mine, and apparently today they're being louder than usual. And I can't really afford a soundproof studio, and even if I did, I have no idea where in my one-bedroom apartment I'd be able to fit it, so please bear with me. I would like to apologize to Javier Javier for me completely bungling the pronunciation of his name in my last video. It was only after I uploaded my last video that I rewatched his video and noticed that he had actually demonstrated how to properly pronounce his name. So now, even if I haven't been able to get his pronunciation perfect, at least I'm probably pronouncing it a bit better than I pronounced it last time. And probably still not pronouncing it perfectly, but I'm sorry I bungled it so bad last time. Anyway, in my previous video, I explained in detail why I agree with Javier that there is no such thing as objective morality, and went a further step in explaining why I also don't believe that there would be, even if God hypothetically had existed. But today I'm going to go into what the good news is, which is that even though there is no such thing as inherently objective morality, we don't actually need a such thing as objective morality. We can live our lives as best we can and even organize a society without having to have any such thing. For one thing, without any objective morality, I cannot prove that the moral code that I choose to live by is indeed inherently objectively true. However, I don't need to. What I can prove is that it is the code that I strive for, the one that I consider to be worth striving for, and I can strive for it with conviction. Obviously, I won't always succeed in living up to it unless it's a really lax code, which, frankly, I'm not going to hold myself to just a very lax code. But it's one that I strive to and will live up to as well as I can, and to always try to do better. Then you might ask, without any such thing as objective morality, how can I say that one person is more moral than another person if I don't have any objective standard to evaluate them by? Well, the answer to that is, even though I don't have any standard to evaluate them by which is objectively true in the sense that only an ontological statement can be true or false, I can evaluate them based on what criteria I would like to, what standard I would like to support, what kind of standard I would like to see promoted in society. Take, for example, Jimmy Snow, aka Mr. Atheist, or Rachel Oates. How can I say that these people are more moral than, say, Girl Defined or Colin Morgan? Well, again, I don't have any objective standard which is true in the same way that only an ontological fact can be true or false. However, the fact is that the kinds of morality that Girl Define pushes, which Paul and Morgan push, are moral codes that put myself and other people that I care about in harm's way, and they're a moral code which I completely feel I need to oppose, even if I cannot actually prove that it is objectively false in the way that only an ontological statement can be. So, even if not in an objectively provable sense, Jimmy Snow and Rachel Oates are definitely more moral than Girl Defined and more moral than Paul and Morgan by any standard that I care to support and by any standard that I would like to see more prevalent in society. Another example. If somebody believes that it is okay to put children in squalid cages just because of the immigration status of their families, then I cannot prove that they are objectively wrong in any sense, but I can prove that I don't want to be friends with them. And just like I don't need a such thing as objective morality in order to compare whether one person is more moral or less moral than another person, we also don't need there to be a such thing as objective morality in order to have laws that allow society to operate. For one thing, as I explained to Javier in social media, I support laws against murder because the moral code that I subscribe to not only forbids me from murdering, but it also requires me to support policies that reduce the prevalence of murder in society as a whole. And then there's the issue of shared values. For example, even without believing in such thing as objective morality, I'm sure that there's a lot of people who would like society to have as little murder in it as possible and would be willing to support policies to that end, and therefore support laws against murder. One thing driving this can be something known as enlightened self-interest, which means that we support laws that we know, if we really think about it, are in our best interest to have. For example, having a law against murder would stand in the way of me dispensing with somebody whom I think that the world would be better off without. However, I support such a law anyway because without such a law, what's there to prevent somebody from murdering me or from murdering somebody else whom I care about? Once again, enlightened self-interest cannot prove that a certain element of morality is objectively true the same way an ontological statement is either true or false, but it can still be a very sufficient motive for promoting a particular element of morality or for rejecting one. So, while it is true that there is no such thing as objective morality, I hope that I've made the case here why that shouldn't prevent us from having a good moral basis, both for one's own life and for building a society as a whole. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends, and also hit the bell icon so that you'll be more likely to receive notifications of future videos added to this channel. Anyway, until next time, see ya!